back, everyone. We are proceeding now to the next panel discussion of the day. Customer centricity, the heart of banking. For this, I would like to invite the moderator for this session, Mr. Prasanna Lohar, CEO, Blockstack. The panelists, Mr. Om Prakash Seth, CIO, IDBI Bank. Mr. Mahendra Bindra, Head, Customer Excellence, Unity Small Finance Bank Limited. Mr. Vishal Bhatia, Chief Digital Officer, Canara Bank. Mr. Shailesh Pandey, COO, Fino Payments Bank. Mr. Manoj Batra, Head, Product and Process Government Business Group, Bandhan Bank. Mr. Aniket Thacker, Deputy Vice President, Fintech Partnerships and Embedded Finance, Kotak Mahindra Bank. And Mr. V. Venkatasubramanian, Deputy General Manager, IT, City Union Bank. The discussion points for this panel are understanding evolving customer expectations, leveraging data and analytics to personalize banking experiences, and building a customer-centric culture within the bank. I request all the panelists to please come on the stage. Mr. Prasanna Lohar, CEO, Blockstack. Request you to please come on the stage. Mr. Om Prakash Seth, CIO, IDBI Bank. Sir, please come on the stage. Mr. Mahendra Bindra, Head, Customer Excellence, Unity Small Finance Bank Limited. Mr. Vishal Bhatia, Chief Digital Officer, Canara Bank. Mr. Shailesh Pandey, COO, Fino Payments Bank. Mr. Manoj Batra, Head, Product and Process Government Business Group, Bandhan Bank. Mr. Aniket Thacker, Deputy Vice President, Fintech Partnerships and Embedded Finance, Kotak Mahindra Bank. And Mr. V. Venkatasubramanian, Deputy General Manager, IT, City Union Bank.
I think very good evening. I think looking at the panel and looking at the experts coming from PSU banks, payments banks, small finance bank, I think this is one of those powerful panel. Everybody should look at it, right? And the topic is also such a great that customer centricity, the heart of banking. You may add mobile banking, internet banking. You may say regulatory is bringing a lot of compliance guidelines. You may go for AI, ML, chatbots, and you may partner with any of those large, small fintech or Infosys and so on. Everything boils down to the customer experience and how your customer is happy with. And in this era, I think we are having maybe 7 or 6 generations of customers. Right? You have some traditional customers who would like to go to the bank branches, or millennial customers who do not want to see the bank branches. People like us would like to do transactions on the fly, on the traffic itself, we'll do the UPI transactions. I think many things has happened in a banking context from traditional to most of the bank today are on a digital banking with backed by API banking or data or cloud. And slowly, intelligent banking where we are knocking the door with the adoption of AI. These days, Gen AI is a buzzword. We talk about some of those path-breaking models backed by blockchain, maybe regulatory is pushing. We have done some sequences like CBDCs or some of the DPIs, like apart from UPI, which is quite successful across the world. We talk about account aggregator, ONDCs. Everything is for customer. And we need to see as a bank or sitting in the bank, business teams or technology team, everybody looks at whether it is internal customer or external customers. And while doing this journey, we keep hearing customers with some like feedback mechanisms. We look at those journeys, how can we onboard customer swiftly with the help of Aadhaar or PAN in India. Then we look at how do we serve them, not only from a branch, but mobile or internet banking. These days we talk about chatbot or maybe kiosk banking. So gone were those days, like from 4 channels, we have multi-channels, and some of the channels are driven by fintechs also as a partnership or a connected banking per se for SMEs. So I think the banks, like we were discussing offline, how is the role of bank in future and how banks are going to really be successful while we are doing so many transactions from payments, which were the the game in 2014, 15, 16. Now everything is around credit, digital lending. And at the same time, RBI keeps a very good equilibrium with lot of guidelines and compliance things are going around. The way kind of innovations were happening for a customer centricity from 2012 till 2015, 16 up to UPI, I think most of the efforts today are around how do we be a compliant bank or how do we be a resilient bank. So to do this, like at any point in time, you need to really balance everything around that. So let's hear from our expert panel out here. Like we have, as I said, we have a PSU banks and everybody out here. So I think I start with Mr. Shailesh. Shailesh ji, I think we keep hearing customer through a lot of mechanisms. I think there are some norms by RBI like voice of customer, or while we have implemented UPI. And UPI is so suited for payment transactions. We are talking today ULI. At the same time, we have created a unified dispute issue resolution system also. So like, while customer centricity is so important, apart from that, how the feedback mechanism is giving those kind of insights for you, so that at Fino, you can always build any of those product services, which is a customer centric, yeah.
Thanks, Prasanna. I would say that being a payment bank and the framework which the RBI guideline has given to us, we saw this as a huge challenge because of the limited opportunity in terms of saving accounts and current account guidelines. But I think every bank has to define their customer segment. If you're able to define that, so let's say you'll have foreign banks trying to cater to the ultra HNI, then you'll have Kotak, which is from an HNI, then you'll have ICICI, which is mass affluent, I would say, or affluent, I would say. Then we had very clear identification that mass market will be a consumer, which is typically 1 lakh to 6 lakh type of income level. And we realized at the moment of 90s when private banks came and gave a very differentiated experience to all of us, which we shifted from the typical brick and mortar structure to different channels which were there. So we took that feedback, we went to the customer, understood from what we do, and we defined a journey where we can, the onboarding typically used to take about 3-4 weeks time. But we were able to open the account with an Aadhaar number itself in just 4 minutes, give the debit card another 4 minutes, and a green pin there and there itself. Because in a rural market, even delivery of the pin is a challenge where you can't trace the customer's address in that case. So we were able to give a journey to the customer in 10 minutes where the entire onboarding process was happened like what we get as an HNI customer to the mass market customer. We took the centricity further in a transaction perspective where even if he does not know his bank account number, just with what mobile number, which all of us remember, he just quotes that number and his transaction history comes, and just through an OTP and Aadhaar, he can do the transaction. So in 30 seconds, he's out of the transaction. And the third challenge which we had, which was from the access perspective, because brick and mortar are very far off in a rural scenario. So we developed lakhs of business correspondents where the guy can do a transaction there and there itself. So the challenge of access, both from an offline world, the transaction and the onboarding, all the challenges which were there, which were not helping him to do a financial transaction, banking transactions, we were able to innovate and solve that problem. Because we were able to do that, the payment bank model, which in the earlier avatar people thought will not able to go off because of the constraints which were there, we not only doing a successful model and a profitable model, I would say, we have taken it to a height that others have followed in that journey. And today I'm very confident that we acquire more than 3 to 4 lakh customers on a charge basis every month, and that the customer is very willing to pay because otherwise he's not getting the service which he is typically looking for. So I think if you develop your system and processes defining the customer, it becomes much more easier trying to service the entire spectrum of customer. I think that is the innovation and that is the creativity which help us, because we knew the customer, we were able to service him in the right way. Thank you.
Yeah, I think wonderful to see that question. I think one of the important aspects for customer centricity, to understand customer, we can always call him. Yeah, how are you? And wherever he comes to the branch, you can greet him and understand. But I think that will not be the stage when we have a n number of customers. We need to rely on some mechanisms, some platforms, hearing out of customers. And these days, I think as a part of digital transformation, everybody talks about AI or some or the other relevant technology. So I think my next question to Manoj ji is, right, how the role of technology to hear customer centricity. Do we really have to think of technology or use the technology based upon customer needs? So you may want to throw upon various technologies which can be utilized to create a better customer experience in the bank. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Prasanna. So I think there are various evolving technologies which are there in the market, which some of these technologies we are also working upon, but that is on the exploratory stage, be it generative AI or blockchain or machine learning. But yes, there are certainly certain technologies which banks are extensively using, be it chatbot and artificial intelligence using the chatbots. So a lot of processes which are internal or external. For example, in internal processes, we are extensively using RPA now, robotic process automation. Okay. And for the external communication, if I talk about the contact centers, okay, so a lot of the preliminary, like functions, like when you're interacting with the customer, maybe a hop-in customer or a, like like we call in the branch banking, we call it walk-in customer. But for anybody who had hopped into my website, say, so any query or anything which he wants to understand about any product, so that extensively the chatbot and this has been refined, the models have been refined over a period of time, where now chatbots are able to solve most of the queries, especially from the pre-sale perspective. Okay. Uh, when I talk about internal processes, there are also the use of artificial intelligence in chatbots has been very extensive, especially like for collections. Okay, collections we are using these bots a lot. Where we give them certain data, and based on that, this will be the first point of context. Like there'll be an automated voice, and then there'll be an IVRS, or maybe there'll be there will be a notification in the app, mobile app, through which the journey will be like they start interacting about the why the repayment is not happening. Okay, so once it reaches a point where there some positive sentiments are coming, or from the sentiment analysis which we do, then the call is transferred to the agent. So the preliminary, like that time when you call the customer, okay, that time is saved. Okay, my contact person, my contact center executive is talking only to the relevant people. So these are some of the use cases which I mean extensively are using, and CRM also like is being extensively used to not only based on the internal data what we have in our systems, but also the social media analytics which we integrate with our CRM. So there also we are doing some sentiment analysis of the customers on our websites,
Yeah.
and this kind of a feedback which we get from the customers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have spoken about a lot of channels, like how you're leveraging the technology on chatbot, conversational banking, social media, and so like it is a bidirectional banking also. It's not something like when a customer doing transaction, give back, but while you have a transaction data, learn from the data and give some intellectual notification decisions to the customer. I think this was not the scenario back in maybe 10 years, and
Right.
every bank has surpassed their the momentum of moving that orbit from one level to the another level. I think, and every bank has its own journey. Like if you look at a bank like Canara Bank, right, which is a legacy, and now they are like one of those example of how to do innovations also, maybe with IDBI, and some of the small or the new banks like Bandhan Bank, as you said, or Unity Finance Bank. Everybody has a different journey altogether. So maybe Om Prakash sir, starting with like how you have seen like focusing on customer centricity, the role of various technologies and the IT infrastructure, or maybe you may talk about how data is becoming so important, and around the data and everything is driven by data banking now. Maybe your digital banking was powered by API banking, but next banking is all about AI plus data banking. So how do we look at the impact towards the customer centricity? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Prasanna, and good evening to all of you. So, as you said that the in the, we should say the tech transformers or digital transformations, right? There are stages, right? So the first stage we go with the normal automation and giving some kind of UI, UX, or some kind of personalization, which are more like Web 2.0 development and all that.
Yeah.
The second stage, we would like to take it to the digital transformation, right? Where we extend our lot more digitalization, APIs, end-to-end, resilient and infrastructure and all that. Now the next is what we are looking is the AI and data driven, right? That's where it is going to be in the next customer centricity and customer experience and engaging platform where it's going to be. The reason behind this that uh, the customer's need or customer experience, if you want to match, it's really dynamic actually, and it changes from person to person. It changes from segment to segment, right? Depending upon customer, his demographic locations, his language, religion, other things. But each individual are different, and hence their preference, their choices are different, and matching their experience, matching their expectation and giving them a wow experience also differs from person to person. Might be the one which works for the most of the people may not work for some of the people, right? So what is important is we worked around is doing the customer segmentation and positioning the technology accordingly. So when we have to do the hyper personalization at scale, then what works out to be a data, a data of the customers, where we get the customers his interactions data, right? Whatever way he's interacting to bank, he's interacting to other banks, he's interacting to social media, whatever his social and financial interactions are there, we get the data, and then basis on that, we create his kind of personalization, right? He creates the customer's persona. So that's how we define the customer persona, that basis on his data, what you are doing, that he is the customer, he or she is the customer, and this is what they would like to do. And basis on data, then we have AIML, machine learning. We can now, as Manoj said, the Gen AI, right? Now the Gen AI is basically which allows you to, free format anything you want. You can ask and it will get it done. It will summarize what you want. So this AI and data, these are the pivotal for providing the best-in-class customer experience, because their ability to model a customer's attributes is much larger, and accordingly they can offer a much suitable experience what customer is expecting. Of course, there are going to be the challenges with respect to DP and others. So, of course, we have to get it done with respect to the regulatory rail guards, right? We have to be very careful what data we can take and ensure that we have the proper customer consent in place. And the data is used for the customer purpose, only for the purpose which is consented for the time. So within this regulatory rail guards, the data what we get, we create the models. There are the models available, and of course, the more development you are going to see, I would say that it will convert into finally a conversational banking, right? So a conversational banking means if I don't need to go and browse through your menus if I want to do some payment, right? I don't want to log in and then go browse the menus, where is the payment, select my account number, and all those kind of things. They all need to be wiped out totally. The customer, the moment he opens the device, the app opens and it welcomes immediately, hello, XYZ, what I can do for you. And then you have the choice, just speak that, okay, can I transfer this much X amount to my friend this much?
Absolutely.
And that's how it has to get it done actually. It doesn't need you to select your account number from account to account and all those kind of things actually. This is one-time setup you can do, but not for all. So that's where, the financial services have to be given where the effortless. And the second stage, what it needs to be an immersive. Immersive is very important. Like we have this virtual Meta and those all, they offer a immersive kind of banking that is more suitable to millennial kind of people. But of course, there is a category of people who are splurge and who likes to play in the technology, right? They don't want to visit the branch, but they are very happy to do the virtual reality and get into that actually. So while doing the customer centricity and this, we have to take care of the interest of each customer segmentation. So segmentation, understanding the customer needs, understanding the customer profile, and accordingly positioning the right tech platform is important.
Yes,
and
yes.
that's where the AI/ML data and tech platforms take the lead.
Yeah,
actually.
you take it so nicely. Like maybe 5 years before, we used to talk about all the business model. Like example, additional channels like mobile, internet, backed by API banking. Many banks have built their ESB and API now. It is getting from monolithic to microservice architecture. That is something like a digital banking which we have seen. But the way these new set of customers are coming and the way existing customers are now learning or changing the way to do transactions. And after COVID, we have seen transformation change at all levels, at a customer level, bank level, and the expectations have changed. They want everything there and there itself. And whoever gives the first will win the game, at least in banking. I think that's how data, maybe yesterday it was API, today it's data, and tomorrow it will be LLMs, right? LLMs only for ATM transactions, only for understand. I think that kind of a modern will come, and the way we have seen many new fintechs come up on API, similarly, a lot of new partners will come up and they will say this LLM is ready, which we back UPI, we understand UPI, we back account aggregator and so on and so forth. Now, Vishalji, you being at Canara Bank and you have completed one full year of being a CDO, and the CDO role was not existing maybe 10 years before. Like even some of the chief innovation officer roles were not existing. And these new roles came in so that we can really take care of those needs, business needs, right? So while it was earlier information technology, it has derived as a digital. Now, we would like to understand from you, considering that customer centricity to care of that customer or any business model, how you had done use of technology, how you have strategized, and what were the challenges during this overall 1 year? Yeah.
So at Canara Bank, we are blessed with 12 crore customers and keep adding customers every day. So we don't focus only on the existing customers, we also focus on the new customers, existing customers. We give equal importance to the sales, service, product, processes, TAT, productivity, everything. And we divided our customers into multiple segments, retail, corporates, merchants, which are there. We don't force our solution to them. We ensure whatever the solution customer needs, we are able to provide that solution to them. I'll take few examples. Still, there are very many women are there who don't have a loan facility. So we go to their home and 20 women together within 30 minutes, we give the loan facility to them through our self-help group. Where the tap banking customer goes, we open KYC account, we give loan account and bring them into the banking scenario. Similar way, you see the vendor shops, we tie up with municipality authorities, we give SIT solution to those vendors. We give QR solution, account, loan, insurance, soundboards, everything at one go within 10 minutes. So we want unbanked people also to come to our platform. Second way, for the lot of customers who are in the retail part, who are already using our digital mobile banking and all, we have 50 AI/ML models which have been built across our 12 crore plus customers, considering their consumer behavior, their transactions data, what are the things they have. To do the cross-sell, we are able to give the next best offer, which is a personalized offer to these set of customers to ensure the engagement is there. And our theme is ensure safe, secure and trusted platform is available to them. What we have done is for the new to the bank customers, through the geospatial analysis technology, are all our branches 3 kilometer radius, we have got all the leads across school, what schools are there, what hospitals are there, what municipal merchant shops are there, all people who are living. We do dedupe, are they existing customers or not existing customers? And then before 5 years, all these leads were manually getting generated, where the person will come or you'll go and meet. But all these leads have been transformed through the tools where 80% of the leads are there with us. These goes to the branches, 20% work happens on the conversion. So that ensures that what customer needs, we are able to give them immediately. In addition, any of our customer looks for the loan. we know immediately. We approach those customers and approach them to ensure good offer is there. And technologies like Account Aggregator helps us to know the full insight of our customers after the consent has been taken and what best offer we can give it to them. With the digital growth, now more than 92% plus are the transactions which are happening digitally. We want to ensure that proper transaction monitoring are happening, the fraud detections are there, proper proactive check are there, mule account check. So all those investment we have done to ensure those inputs have been taken care to ensure customers are safe. We have a standard one platform for all our products where the customer can raise complaint, and after the due date crosses, it goes to the management. So there is everybody on the toes to ensure the customer complaints to the customer satisfaction being taken care. We have a centralized view of CRM, where 360 view, which is used by the branches, which is used by the call center, which is used by our head office, is a one system where 360 review of all what customer relationship is there, we are able to get. And that helps us to ensure all the customer in-depth relationship, what more cross-sell to be done, and more engagement to happen. We have built customized solutions where we don't want customer to do on technology. We don't want customer to worry about payment. We don't want customer, if from the do-it-yourself is happening, we'll provide a solution. So you take institutes of IIT, IIMs, local school, we have provided a white label solution to them, where all collection payment is happening by our white label solution to them. So it is easy for them. They don't have to put any investment on the human. They don't have to do return settlement. Everything is done by this system. We have put a clear, we have 20 plus digital product. We have put a clear strategy. What is the different customer segmentation and what we can give that offer to them. Like customers who don't have a website, I will build a website for you. Customers who have a website, I will give a payment gateway solution to you. Customers who have ERP solution, I will do an API banking with you. So we want to ensure we are there everywhere based on the customer segmentation, because in this competition, we can't lose any customer. And we want to ensure all our customers who are there, more and more in-depth relationship we do, vertically we grow with them, and give more and more horizontally the offers to them. We do all the calls, whatever the call center analysis happens, we do speech analytics to ensure what is customer insight, where we have to improve on our product services as well as our call center training and all. So what we have done is through the AR, VR, metaverse, all our staffs are getting trained, and through the AI, dynamic queries come to them based on the different customer behavior and how our branches people are responding to those customers. That scorecard also comes runtime. So that helps us to ensure how we are communicating with the branches or call center branches are as per the customer expectation. We launch many products every few months. We launch new customer segmentation product. Like you take, we have a product of Canara Angel, which is for the woman product, where we are covering everything for the woman. We are the insurance of the cancer we are taking. We don't want anything to be from the customer. We are investing money on that. We are investing money on urban lab. We know what women want, so we are able to give offer to them. The customers who are traveling abroad, we are giving a separate word international card offer to them. We have launched an offer of Canara Heal of those product segments where we feel customers are able to give 80% medical insurance immediately, but 20% they suffer. Then they look for their family and friends. So how we can give personal loan to them. So these are the niche areas where we keep investing on the new product so that we are able to attract our customers well and more on the customer-centric focus there. From the top management to everybody, every month we have a digital mela, we have customer mela, where customers from most of the ROs come to our branches. We discuss with them what are the suggestions, what are the feedback. And luckily we have fourth generation where the customers are sticking with us. We also call them, get their feedback and experiences. To the extreme we have gone, where certain customers says, I don't want mobile app. I want only mobile app for passbook download. So we have created a separate app only for the passbook, where 500,000 customers are using that app only for the passbook download. So we want to ensure niche solution for the customers are available to ensure in-depth relationship maintained with them.
Yeah. I think as in a CDO or any of us who are part of CXO teams in the banks, like we have some cooperative banks, some small finance banks, they can always have these best practices to see how they can also have this kind of a digital transformation. I think while we do digital transformation, the most of the digital transformation is always depend upon how is your IT team. For example, when I was in DCB, like we wanted to do some API banking or some kind of ESB, but my core was not ready. core does not have some APIs. While I will say I will migrate the core, my channel was not ready for that. So I think it's a tricky situation. And imagine Kotak's or ICICI's, Canara, Karnataka Bank, they always give those path-breaking ecosystems, so-called UPIs or API banking on time. And India could be one of those pioneer country to have a 30, 40 plus DPIs apart from financial DPIs in travel like Digi Yatra we have, in health and all. I think going back in IT unit, right, where we have Mr. Venkat out here, when I was a part of a DCP, like we used to juggle around with the technology, compliance team, CISO team, and sometimes we may want to do, let's say example, we want to do conversational banking or a chatbot banking, and then there are some challenges around budgets and all. I think while it's a norm now, every bank has to become a digital, but let's hear from Mr. Venkat from City Union Key. What is that you have seen as a part of your journey? How you have really taken those efforts to have a right budgets, and what all innovations you have carried? Like Citibank is one of those first bank who has come up with the humanoid in the bank branch, and many other such innovations we have seen. Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Prasanna. We are a 120-year-old bank, and I think we are the oldest, I can say, old generation bank. But in terms of technology, I think we are doing on par with many banks in India. So I can probably say that. As you mentioned, we are the first bank to launch the robo banking in 2016, launched by our FM madam. Recently, we made a lot of innovations around UPI, around customer-centric, I can say, how they can secure their banking in their mobile app. One of the innovation was launching the NAP ID in association with RBI Sandbox, where it sits on top of your mobile banking layer, and it makes your mobile bank sleep so that nobody can hack your mobile banking, and it secures. Whenever you want, you need to enable your mobile banking through the NAP ID app, which is kind of more secure. But as you said, the challenge more is to convince the customer that this is much better, security that is being provided by the bank, and we need to create the confidence on the customer. Another aspect is the budget. So whenever you take any new initiative, so you need to convince the management that what is ROI that I am going to get, how much time it is going to, what is the business potential that it is going to bring in. So that is the key focus for the management. I think with a lot of support that we get into a lot of innovations. And also we partnered with one Fintech and launched first voice biometric as a second factor authentication, where you can use your voice instead of some other mode of OTP. I mean, second factor, you can log into your mobile banking and use your own voice. So a lot of tests and a lot of things happened. I mean, how it works, how whether somebody can mimic. So there were a lot of questions around from various forums how this can work. So we went through all those things, and I think currently we have like about 6,000 to 7,000 customers using that product, voice biometric. So these are the two security aspects for the customer that we have launched. And apart from that, in the UPI front, last year we launched Hello UPI. As he mentioned, voice-based UPI. The customers can do both in UPI 1, 2, 3 and in the normal UPI. And this year we are about to launch, but that launch was deferred for some reason by NPCI, where you can use your car as a source of UPI payment. So we tied up with 3, 4 petroleum companies, and we are about to launch the product. Anytime we will be launching that. So your car can be used as making payment for refilling your petrol in petrol banks using your UPI. So these are some of the innovations that recently we did.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think you mentioned about UPI and various innovation, IT budgets, the constraints sometimes become, the top management sometimes need to understand what is the use of API or what is the use of data. But I think over a period of time, the things have changed. I think regulator itself is, I think we are blessed with one of those most innovative regulator. And other country to follow, I think our governor has received one of the best regulator governor award couple of times continuously. I think coming back, RBI vision statement, which typically comes every 2 to 3, 4 years, And best part is whatever they mention in that vision statement, like UPI was mentioned in 2013. By 2017, UPI should be launched. They launched in 2016. CBDC they mentioned back in 2019, they launched it 2022. I think there are two, like apart from people, process, technology, I think fourth pillar, which is around partnership and regulation, right? Hearing from the regulator to do those, and ultimately for a better customer excellence. So Mahendra ji, I think would like to understand while a lot of our experts spoke about their journeys. So how do you look at Unity Small Finance Bank, which is a small finance bank, and I think for a success of any bank, customer excellence is very important. What are those initiatives you take to hear those customers? Because it's not only building a digital app and launch it. They have to utilize it, they have to give feedback, and they have to show those delight, either on your mobile play store or any which ways. Like, over to you. Yeah.
Thanks, Prasanna, and thanks for such an elite panel today. I think the view which we as a bank have, we are one of the youngest small finance bank in India. So we are very clear that banking will turn into a commodity or is already turning into a commodity. I think what one bank gives in terms of fixed deposit rate or a loan rate, pretty much the second, third, fourth bank will be able to provide the same. I think we are very clear of one thing is that the customer service or the customer experience will be the game changer or the differentiator.
Yes.
Now, if you talk about any person in this room, the definition of customer experience or customer service is very different. It's person to person based, right? What is important is, as an organization, we have cohorts of customers. We have done very clear segmentation of customers. We have one set of customers who are, just to keep it simple, senior citizens, which we are very clear, they want to come and visit our branch, have a cup of tea, spend 15 minutes for a face-to-face conversation. These are those people who don't have a lot of family members or who don't have the time of their family members to speak. Number one. Number two, we have a very large microfinance business where 98% of our customers are women, which are tier 3 and tier 4, not educated like the crowd that we have in this hall today. But we are very clear that if we have the best internet banking, the best mobile app, it's of no use to them. What they want is voice, vernacular, and video.
Yeah.
We are talking about Bharat and not India right now. So they want a simple solution which is voice enabled in their local language, and if it has video, nothing like it. Then we move forward to millennials, where they hate visiting branches. They want everything at a click of a button. So for them, we have the mobile app and the internet banking strategy, where they don't have to visit a branch. Whatever journey they envision, they can do it end to end on the app or on the internet banking. So I think, one, it's very clear, apart from service or experience, which will be a differentiator, the next important thing is one size cannot fit all. You cannot have just one approach for all segment of your customers, right? And the next more important thing is, I think what we look at, the way we look at is, we don't focus on technology. I think we are very clear that we will not implement a technology and then force fit our customers. We're going to be keeping the customer at the center and work backwards to identify the right technology for that particular customer. I think that's our very, very clear view. Technology is an enabler. I think without technology, this whole thing will not work. And I think a lot of my fellow panelists talked about AI, Gen AI. The only limited view that I would like to add is, we are at the very beginning of a long curve in AI. The kind of AI that we see today, whether we talk about chatbots, voice bots, Gen AI, I think we are at a primitive stage of the long journey of AI. I think there is more to come.
Yes.
I think there's going to be a lot of excitement and a lot of exciting use cases that we will solve through AI, right? I think the last piece is, at the end of the day, whatever you talk about, whether you talk about tech, AI, or cook analytics, right? And that's a very big piece, right? Data is the new oil, and there are so many new statements talking about data. I think what we have also observed is that there are silos in the bank. And this is primarily true for, I would say, large banks who have been in the system for 20 plus years, because they had multiple systems and they have seen technology evolving, right? So I think the most important thing would be how they can harness or leverage their data. I think one of the fellow panelists talked about CRM, right? So I think the ability of a bank or any institution to leverage data will define how best it can serve the customers, right? And just to quickly close, I think no matter how much we talk about AI and data and technology, human touch you cannot beat the human touch. So whether we talk about a branch, whether you talk about a mobile app, internet banking and all, we need to keep the human touch. And hence, I think one of the things we are tracking very closely is customer effort score. The generic CX metrics are CSAT and NPS. But I think if we have to go a little further, I think what is the effort taken by the customer to service his need or requirement is something that will help the brands. Keeping it short. Thank you.
Yeah, I think wonderful. You mentioned about how channels being utilized while the technologies are there. They are just enablement. Create those products while you can look at the customer journeys and work backward the way Steve Jobs has evolved Apple as a ecosystem out there, right? I think while we were talking about role of regulations and how they are pushing, there is another entity like Fintech, right? And imagine today's banking, we can't imagine without Fintechs. We have seen those surge of payment apps or the payment apps backed by UPI like PhonePe, Google Pays, or these days we talk a lot about digital lending apps. Like any other sectors like insurance, wealth are also now creating a lot of lot of fintechs are working around that, and good support by banks with their API ecosystem available to practice it out. As well as regulator also keeps doing a lot of fintech accelerator programs through Harbinger at RBI or IRDA or IFSC keeps doing it. But would like to understand from Aniket as a Kotak Bank, and Kotak Bank, Deepak ji is out here, who has done a lot of innovations at Kotak Bank, right? Kotak 811 or Kotak on like one of the first bank to do on Twitter, like payments on Twitter, and there are many more. I think with that legacy, and we would like to understand from how Kotak banks look at while you can represent banking ecosystem, how banks looks at fintech as a integral part, as another channel, not as a alternate channel, but one of the channels which is going to be there forever. While branch may not be there, while branch will always coexist in different form of maybe not the way we do transactions there, maybe for customer support they will be there, but how fintechs will prevail for a longer period, and how banks and the regulators are also now supporting fintechs. Yeah.
Thank you so much. First of all, good evening, everyone. Very fortunate to have shared the stage with such eminent speakers, and also learned a lot from Deepak sir and all the gentlemen out here. So to answer your question, I would like to say that there's been a massive evolution in the digital space over the last 3-4 years, thanks to COVID. Customer today is spoiled for choices. There's so much on offer. Gone are those days when customer centricity was all about what does the customer want. Nowadays, it's like, how does he want it, when does he want it, and how do you give him? So, we were taught in my early days that KYC is know your customer from a capturing inputs and reporting standpoint. Today, KYC, when you target your customer, KYC is all about whether you actually know your customer. So if you're trying to acquire that customer, you should know what he wants. If you're trying to cross-sell to the customer because he's your existing customer, you should actually know when does he want it. So we are spoiled for choices. Fintechs are doing a phenomenal job. They are here to stay. They have penetrated the banking ecosystem tremendously. A a lot of examples that we heard today, a lot of evolution that has happened to banking infrastructure, digital banking offerings, is all because of fintechs, their vision, their thought process. Of course, there was a need for them to, for them to be stopped, and hence, thanks to our regulator, who's one of the most innovative regulators across the globe, and hence we see we are on the forefront of evolution today with UPI and all the evolutions that have happened. So fintechs were very fast-paced. They started off very well. They are still doing well, but there is a brake that has been applied to their pace for the right reasons. The bank-fintech marriage, if I were to talk from a young generation standpoint, earlier the bank-fintech marriage was more of a speed dating and more of just catching up and starting a conversation and just kicking off, and then revisiting whether this marriage needs to be taken ahead or no. Today, thanks to the regulator, I'm sure all of us have the similar experiences being on the banking side of the table. The bank-fintech marriage has become more of a traditional marriage, the two states kind, where you have a lot of questions to be answered, a lot of stoppages, a lot of roadblocks. It's no more as seamless as it was, but still, I think banks are trying to manage the fintechs very well. It's a matter of patience, which is of utmost test. Banks, in close liaison and in close conjunction with fintechs, are launching some phenomenal journeys. Banks have learned a lot from fintechs, and fintechs have provoked the banks to think beyond a certain extent and offer services to the customers on a hyper-personalized note. Traditionally, I used to see my dad when we walk into the branch about 2 decades, 3 decades back. We wanted a lot of attention because we walk in with a certain checklist that I want to do this, I want to do that, I have this query, I want to close this query. And we want all the attention from the RM or the branch manager or the person sitting at the desk. Then it shifted to all these things coming on the app. So when I log into a banking app, there is a chatbot. So there are certain FAQs. I know the chatbot knows what kind of questions can I ask. The app knows what all services I may need, so it comes and offers. But now it has shifted outside the banking app, and the hyper-personalization has gone to an extent that, giving a classic example of cred, I'm a customer, I'm a human, I always want attention. I like attention, right? If I open cred, earlier it was just paying a credit card bill. Today, cred remembers that my car insurance renewal is due. There's a cred garage. It remembers that there are 4 challans that I haven't paid. It remembers that I have to recharge my FASTag. Cred also knows the accumulated, thanks to account aggregator integration. I mean, the amount of traction that account aggregator received when it was launched, unfortunately, the adoption was so poor by the banks, and the ball dropped somewhere. Today, Cred has integrated account aggregator. It remembers all my balances. It knows, it remembers all the bank accounts, what is happening with each of the bank accounts, how much interest am I gathering. Cred remembers if there are any hidden charges in my credit card bills. Why wouldn't I love to know that? Why wouldn't I want to see that? So that's all about identifying when to penetrate and how to tap that customer. Like I said, from an NTB angle, it's KYC is all about know who is your customer. So Swiggy is so popular today. HDFC is doing a phenomenal job. Whenever I open Swiggy, there's a reminder that you could have saved 10% on this order had you received or you can still receive an HDFC Swiggy co-branded card. While the other side of the story, with all due respect to HDFC's initiative, is if I actually punch my order and when I'm about to go and see what all coupons I can apply, there's a DBS, there's an HSBC, there's an AU who's offering much better concessions and discounts on my orders. So centricity, customer centricity is all about customer. Absolutely, even today he's at the center, no doubt about it. Earlier, the thought process when we all saw customer at the center was, what can we do keeping the customer in mind? What can we build for him? Today, it's about how do we pull that customer? How do we tap? When do we hit
the customer's mobile phone and cross-sell our products. So fintechs here will play a role. Fintechs will provoke the thoughts of the banking fraternity, which they still are. Of course, a lot, I think, has been spoken on AI and Gen AI. Gen AI the integration of AI has done a phenomenal job in terms of the customer analytics, understanding the penetration segment. I mean, also, I would just want to conclude by agreeing that with today's scenario of the customer being spoiled for choices, it is very important for any financial institution, being a bank or NBFS, to compartmentalize the customers, to segment the customers and then target the customers, because not every customer would want the same thing. That's where hyper-personalization will play a critical role, and the bank fintech marriage, I believe, is here to stay. It's a game of patience. There's a lot of regulation around it. There are a lot of governance initiatives coming from RBI around it. And banks will have to continuously engage with fintechs to unlearn and understand what can be made better in terms of the customer offerings. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it right. The way we have seen traditional banking moved from branch to mobile and internet, you will see a lot of different form factors coming in, and we'll have, as Sir rightly said, we'll not only have that menu-driven banking, but it will be like intuition-driven or based upon the kind of parameters or configuration I will do as a maybe a traditional customer or maybe a millennial customer. The interface will evolve. And as you rightly said, immersive interface will be the way forward, or invisible interfaces, or one of the discussions we were saying banks may not exist the way they were existing 20 years before. And banks' products will evolve, right? The way we have seen credit cards or maybe a current account, savings account. Tomorrow we'll have a different way to onboard customers as well as bring the liquidity to the banks, right? So I think future of finance is quite good. And while we had one round of organizers saying we had to wrap up fast, so I think what are your two takes? Like, what will be the future of finance looks like, considering the better customer experience? Because everything is boiled down to the experience. While we'll keep on doing our in-house people, process, technology adoption with regulation, good partners, and we have to keep hearing customers. The customer today, the way we have, or a customer today we had back in 2000. And customer who is going to be there in 2030, that will drive the future of finance. I think the way India has surpassed various products, like UPI is a world-class product. I think more than 10 plus countries are adopting, and other countries are now learning they should have some kind of and similarly we are bringing other platforms like account aggregator on data monetization, or how to utilize data in better way. Or we are talking about something account aggregator, or multiple such platforms will come into the picture, so that banking the way it happens in a bank, it will come out as a platform banking. That's my take. Like, maybe I would like to hear from Om Prakash sir and to the Venkat, not more than 10 seconds, sir. Like, yeah, how the
perfectly, as you said, right, that the platform banking, right? Normally we come with the product mindset and we create something which is kind of very rigid and, the way we created and we want customer to consume, which will change more like a very flugible kind of thing where customer participative. It's a customer who will, pick and choose and create and mold, whatever he wants to do in the product. So a lot more, the whole thing will shift from service provider driven to customer driven, customer participative actually. A lot more controls will go to the customer. Customer will make a decision. Customer will do, pick and choose. Customer will create all things. I think what we are going to see in future, next few years, is that the data and AI is going to play a very, very large role. It's beyond imagination the way it is going to be. And this data and AI and tech is going to make the banking to a very, very large scale, a huge impact the way we are doing the banking. Actually.
Yeah, Vishal ji.
See, my view is the main objective is the activation and continuous engagement of the banking with the customer to happen. And that will happen when the customer feels that I have a relevant solution, relevant product from the bank. Then the stickiness will maintain. and then only the customer will be ready to use more and more your product. The more relevant, personalized solution or products will be the key for forever for the bank with the customers.
Yeah, AI data, more personalized, yeah.
I think customer experience will blur the boundaries between industries. So if you look at the pinnacle of customer experience in hospitality, it's, I think, the Taj Group and the Oberoi. Similarly, within banking, the customer is going to expect much more rather than a traditional banking service, which Sir rightly mentioned. It's institutional driven. And I think data analytics, personalization, segmentation will play a huge role, and it all will be driven to make the customer's life easy, deliver better products, better service at fastest possible rate. And I think the future is going to be truly omni-channel, and not just a branch or a mobile app or internet banking. So I think this will be the few closing comments.
Yeah, yeah. More omni-channel and maybe more secure, yeah.
I would still put my money on hyper personalization and digital distribution. How you plan your distribution of and cross selling of products digitally. So if every bank cannot manage to have a super app like the super apps we have today, but you can have target group based initiatives like at Kotak. We had Kotak Cherry, we have a Kotak Neo that is launched. So you identify the customer and try to give as much attention and hyper personalization based approach.
Yeah, based upon customer centricity, that will drive the next product. Yeah.
So I would say there is an old adage which we always say that customer is the king. We always say that. I think new future will have to say we have to make the customer feel like a king. And if you want to make the customer feel like a king, you need to give an experience to him that he says, wow, which is a customer delight. And for that, you need to know the customer so well, either through the transaction data or his history or otherwise, that you can give him an offer or otherwise a service which really, really makes him feel that you are the institution that he wants to divide. So in future, anybody who makes a customer feel like a king, he'll be the winner going forward.
Yeah. So I think the future of finance lies in more like, we were talking about digital finance earlier when branches were there and they used to do financing. Now, the next step is the commoditization or sachetization of finance. So in the individual space, we have already seen this. Now in you see business banking also, this is happening through channel financing, through digital platforms. So I think disguised finance is the new buzzword, which I would say is the future of finance, where you are it's a sort of embedded finance where you are doing a transaction on a platform, whether it is buying a ticket for a flight or booking a tour, or you're doing any transactions for a high value, white good purchase on a platform, and you are sort of converting that into flexi payment terms. You don't even know that it is what is happening behind.
That could be the
So
future of some
that
of the products,
that is
yeah.
like kind of a disguised finance through BNPL or any other mode, like with whether it is tie up with the brands, how it is happening, you don't even know. So that's it from my side. Yeah.
So to me, I think technology is going to continue have the say in banking. And a couple of points I have, it's my own personal view. Why not a account portable, like a mobile number portability, which might come. This is my thought. Government is pushing, to reduce the number of bank accounts for each individual. That might come. So in that case, why not account portability? This is something which I'm looking at. And card usage will definitely come down. ATMs, all this usage will be redundant in quite some time with the way the UPI and the digital payments happening.
So I think wonderful. I think the way we have seen, we spoke about how banking is changing, and the way our governance talks about to build a resilient banking backed by operational resilience, how to do a lot of process automations, and any of those processes should be more automated. Organizational resilience to build on good skills and good governance around that. And apart from that, let's look at how technical resilience, how we can adopt various technologies within a banking ecosystem. So I think building a resilient banking ecosystem in interest of the customer experience is very, very important. And we heard all the experts out here. And let's see how future of finance will look like. And the way we have heard, future of finance is quite connected, is a frictionless, backed by data. Maybe while we talk about digital banking, we are slowly getting into intelligent banking backed by AI or Gen AI. We have to really do a lot of things around there. And while we talk about that, our 4G has become 5G, will become 6G, so more demand will come. So there we'll talk about the future-ready customers. Maybe cars, cities will do those transactions over a period of consent. And to bring that, we need amalgamation with IoTs and blockchain. So I think the way we talk today, digital banking, tomorrow we'll say we are autonomous banking. So I think that journey continues with the collaboration with fintechs, partners, banks within a bank, and the regulators keep pushing how to move to the better banking so that it's not only few customers, but almost all, in Indian context, 1.4 or maybe whatever customers are coming should have a bank account ready, interoperability ready. Wherever I go, they should understand based upon my consent, what is the need of a customer, maybe retail, SME. So I think it's a beautiful journey. I think, thank you so much.
I request everybody to please stay back for the mementos. Firstly, I would request Prasanna Lohar sir to felicitate Mr. Om Prakash Seth, CIO, IDBI Bank. Next to Mr. Mahendra Bindra, Head Customer Excellence, Unity Small Finance Bank Limited. Now to Mr. Vishal Bhatia, Chief Digital Officer, Canara Bank. To Mr. Shailesh Pandey, COO, Fino Payments Bank. To Mr. Manoj Batra, Head, Product and Process Government Business Group, Bandhan Bank. To Mr. Aniket Thacker, Deputy Vice President, Fintech Partnerships and Embedded Finance, Kotak Mahindra Bank. To Mr. V. Venkatasubramanian, Deputy General Manager, IT, City Union Bank. I now request Mr. Viren to present memento to Mr. Prasanna Lohar, CEO Blockstack. Thank you, everyone.